Welcome to the inaugural episode of the still untitled World Class Bullshitters News Show. I'm your host, Jeff Hicks, and today we feature the return of Dustin McNeese.
Hi guys, sorry, had to get on their job because the wife is pregnant, and you know how I know she's about to give birth? Because her nipples are the color of Dion's taint. Truck 2016.
I thought only Hillary knew what that taint looked like.
Well, I got a pretty good idea. I mean, these things they're dark, and somehow they got big. I don't know if she minds me talking about it, but fuck her.
Are we talking like Wesley Snipes dark?
Darker.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
So like Spencer dark, okay.
Oh, I forgot about Spencer. So did everyone else.
So as this is the first episode of the still untitled World Class Bullshitters News Show, we are kind of playing around with the format. So bear with us here. But Dustin has a bunch of news to talk about, and then we are going to do an interview segment, which, by the way, after this week's episode will be all about you. So if you have interest in being on the still untitled World Class Bullshitters News Show, Dustin, tell them what they got to do.
You just got to have access to Skype and a willingness to talk to two assholes for about a half hour at the absolute most. It hopefully is shorter because I really don't care what you people have to say. So make sure in the comment section you just you say, hey, I want to volunteer. We'll set up a Skype thing with you. We'll email during the week, and we'll get you ready for next Wednesday when we record. So.
All right, perfect. Well, Dustin, you are the proctor, so please ask away.
Sure. In TV news, we got Season 4 of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. premiered this week. Most notably, the show kicked off with the introduction of Ghost Rider, who unfortunately was not played by Nicolas Cage. The show's creators are also tying the season into Doctor Strange, saying some of the questions we're asking right at the top of the season will be answered by the film, and directly after the film, we're starting to explore some of the same worlds. The show, whose time slot moved from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m., now features more blood and sex, which still isn't enough to get me to watch that piece of shit.
I just hope the production... I wanted to watch the newest episode because of Ghost Rider, but I didn't because I don't care about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
I was going to say, because you're better than that.
I contemplated putting on Daredevil again last night. I thought, well, if I want some entertainment, maybe I'll watch Daredevil. That'll be, a home run. But I didn't realize they switched the time slot.
Yeah, I know, and I think that's their way, supposedly, of getting a more mature audience. But honestly, like, the few episodes I watched, fucking just terrible. And I don't think adding more tits and blood, which normally gets me off, is going to make me any more interested. But it almost worked on you.
Well, not the tits and blood. I had no clue they changed their time or their content. I was just curious to see how Ghost Rider would look on TV. But then I found out it wasn't Johnny Blaze, it's Robbie Reyes, and Marvel's push for, no white people in the universe, so I was like, I'm not going to support this, so I didn't watch it.
Oh, good man. That would have been a deal breaker had you watched Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And any of our fans, if you watch that show, go fuck yourself, because you can't be a fan of that and our show. It just doesn't work.
I feel that strongly about The Flash and Supergirl. Like, if you're into Supergirl, reevaluate yourself.
Well, in comic news, DC announced their solicitations for December this past week. Most notably is Justice League vs. Suicide Squad #1. The solicitation reads, the first major event storyline of DC's rebirth era begins with a day Amanda Waller always knew would come. The Justice League discovers the existence of the Suicide Squad. This government-sponsored Black Ops team of supervillains with bombs implanted in their brains is obviously a deal-breaker for Earth's paragon of truth and justice. But you can bet that the Wall and her Task Force X won't go down without a fight to the end. And the comic drops December 21st. Is a 6-part series. Costs $5 and hopefully doesn't include that shitty-ass Enchantress.
Well, she won't be as dirty in the comic as she is in the movie. But, yeah, I'm still pissed off about Suicide Squad, dude.
I've seen it 4 times now. I did. My little sister wanted to see it a second time, so I went with her, and then we saw it for a third time. And then my cousin Tim wanted to see it as well. But yeah, the parts of it grew on me, but I just can't get behind that villain. I don't understand why they chose to go that route. She was terrible. Everything about there's not one redeeming quality about that fucking giant eyebrow bitch. Nothing.
I'm with you. I didn't like her. I just didn't like that movie. There's a review of that. You can listen to us bitch about it for fucking 2 hours. Nobody liked that movie on this channel. Nobody. But Dustin, to comment on the comic crossover. It could be interesting. I feel like DC's trying to really make up for Marvel's lack of quality books right now, and I think they're doing a good job. So I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt and read this online.
Well, you're not the only one, because according to Diamond Direct, the comic sales tracker, whatever, they're reporting that 9 out of the top 10 best-selling books in August were from DC.
Woo!
9 out of 10. Number 1 was Harley Quinn, number 1. Number 2 was All-Star Batman, number 1. 3 was Suicide Squad. God damn it. Suicide Squad, number 1. 4, the only Marvel book, was The Amazing Spider-Man. That's always going to be top 10. Spider-Man. Number 5 was Suicide Squad Rebirth, number 1. 6 was Batman. 7 was Batman. 8 was Justice League. 9 was Harley Quinn. And 10 was Supergirl. So, yeah, I mean, I think fans like you, like me, like the other guys on the channel are sick of whatever the fuck Marvel's doing right now. And it's clearly showing. We're voting with our dollar, and DC is whipping ass.
And they deserve it. Shout out to Marvel. I'll never buy another one of your books until you get your shit together. You've ruined everything about your fucking universe. And how many goddamn Spider-Mans are there in your universe, all right? Too many. There should be one. Peter Parker. Why isn't Thor Odinson Thor? We got Jane Foster as Thor. This new Iron Man character. All these dumb fucking things. No one is asking for these things. It's not like if you were to poll comic book fans and go, what do you guys really want to see from Marvel? No one's going to go and say, I want Tony Stark to have an illegitimate half-black kid or whatever. Or James Rhodes' half-black child or whatever the fuck she is. I want her to take over for Tony Stark because I'm really tired of good Iron Man stories with, all this cool technology and stuff about class and all this other crap. No, I want some teenage black girl because that's believable that a 15-year-old knows Iron Man's fucking technology. Or I want Jane Foster, who has cancer, to get the power of Thor. Or I want Spider-Gwen, an alternate universe Gwen Stacy who didn't die on the bridge and therefore ruined the entire arc of Spider-Man's most impactful story and altered him for an entire real-life decade. No, I don't care about, good stories. I just want gimmicks. Fucking idiots.
I want diversity. I want a diverse cast of characters. Like it's ruining their franchise, and I'm very happy for that. They deserve it. It's not like I'm a Marvel fanboy. I love the movies. They were the first comics I read, but I'm not blindly loyal to them. If you start shitting on me as a fan and as a consumer, then you deserve whatever bad things happen. And I loved when I came across these sales numbers that only one book in the top 10 was Marvel. Fuck them.
Yeah, they've ruined Daredevil. You know how I am, Dustin. You've been to my house. You've seen the literal thousands of comic books I own.
Thousands. You have I wish people could visualize this. I wish we could show a picture of it, but you have these long white boxes that are probably half the length of a room, just full in numerical order of Spider-Man and other comics. It's ridiculous. It's like your own little comic book store.
Yeah, I could read a comic every day for the rest of my life.
And never overlap twice.
Yeah, because I have that many books. You talked about these white boxes. I got, so many comics that I got them stacked in shoe boxes and other random boxes that are just accommodating enough for them. And it's when you really get the people like me that lose interest in your book that you got a problem. I'm not saying that you need to cater to me personally. I'm really open to a lot of changes if they're within the realm of the characters. Like, for example, I liked when Doc Ock took over Spider-Man. I thought that was a good story. It was 30 issues or something. And when it ended, they had the big payoff. Spider-Man was back. I was excited. But then they go and do this other dumb shit. I mean, on top of the shitty stories and this shitty forced diversity, you got bad artwork, you got stupid creators, you got bad editorial decisions. Marvel is just a fucking cesspool. DC is getting their shit pushed in, and they know that this is their, let's say they know this is their last chance. Because people don't like Superman. People aren't going to buy bullshit. So they are really trying hard, and they're doing a great job. Art-wise, their books look better. Stories, their books have better stories. They have a better creative team. They're getting some really big guns. Like, they got Jim Lee, Frank Cho, all these classic guys that still pump out great art. And Marvel's got fucking, what's his name? Humberto Ramos, who draws Spider-Man with a fucking bug eyes and little neck and all this other dumb shit. It's just garbage.
No, and what DC is doing, I've noticed, is they are actually, listening to the fans, reading comments, and then they're catering the product, because that's what comic books are as a product, to what the fans want. Instead of trying to force something on fans and hope that the fans change, they're changing the product to fit the fans. And I think I'm just happy that they're winning now, because it's been years since DC was in the lead like this.
And you brought up about listening to their fans. I, as a fan, did not want Civil War 2. What the fuck? And, okay, when you say, Jeff, close your eyes and think of Captain America, I think of Steve Rogers, Captain America. And when you say think of Captain Marvel, I don't think of new, feminist-friendly, costume up to your neck with big red gloves Captain Marvel. I think of, like, the cool classic one with the red sash and the black leotard. And I think of Steve Rogers and Tony Stark and all these classic characters that no one was tired of. Okay? Marvel is trying to be so trendy and hip, and they're worried about, like, appeasing these feminist people and these progressives in quotations that don't even buy your goddamn product. Like, I hate to say it, but if you really want to make a lot of money on some of these characters, throw some TNA at fans, and they're gonna fucking buy it.
Don't hate to say that because that's what comics used to be. That's what they should be. It's a male-driven market. That's what I want to see. I use comic books as a way to escape my reality. I want to see big-titted women flying around whipping ass. Like, I want to see that stuff, and to get rid of that for whatever reason, I just don't understand.
Nope, and Marvel, you can't have my money. Sorry, guys. The movies, completely different beast. Excellent movies. DC makes crap movies. Not even going to try to spin it in a different light. But editorially, just what's on a comic book page, DC. If I'm going to a comic book store today to buy a book, I'm picking up Trinity. I'm picking up whenever fucking Dark Knight Returns 3 comes out, Part 5. I'm buying all those books. I'm buying
now,
those books.
How's that going? I know you're collecting those, and I've read Rick's mixed reviews on Dark Knight 3.
Well, I actually started collecting issues 1 and 2, and I didn't like either one. I thought, well, the first issue might not be that good. The second issue was bad. But then I read the third issue, the fourth issue, and I think the fifth issue online, and it has become my favorite comic book story of the year. It is
Seriously?
Cool. Seriously. I'm not blowing smoke up your ass. I love this story.
Okay, I'll be picking that up, because every time I go to the comic book store, I flirt with it. And I thought I remembered you saying you didn't like the earlier part of the series, and I trust your judgment on stuff. So if it's come around, I'm going to buy them all.
It starts out stupid. Have you read the original Dark Knight Return story?
Many moons ago.
Okay, so you're aware of the female Robin and all that shit and old-ass Batman? The first part's focusing on her, and then eventually other shit happens. But there's a city called in Superman lore, there's this thing called the Lost City of Kandor. It's a bottled city. And it's full of Kryptonians, but they're all miniaturized. And Superman's like, oh, one day I'm going to learn how to save them, and we're going to send them back to their, build them their own universe and all this shit. Well, they escape and want to destroy Earth, and it is awesome.
That's cool. So they're the master race or whatever?
They're the master race, and the most conflicting part is Superman's daughter sides with them, and Superman, sides with humanity.
Okay, say no more. I'm getting excited.
There you go. DC, I'll take my cut now.
Yeah, we had a fan a few weeks ago claim that we were paid shills, so I'm still waiting on my check.
I would love a check
from whoever we're mouthpieces for, supposedly.
Hell, even fucking Marvel could send me a check. Oh yeah, this new Spider-Man's so great. Love it. That's why it's in the top 10.
Not because of just brand loyalty, but because it's exquisite.
Yeah, it's the greatest thing I read the entire month.
Oh, so not so good comics. Yoda is getting his own comic. According to StarWars.com, issue 26 of Marvel's Star Wars comic will feature a flashback to Yoda pre-Episode 1. And this is in quotations. We've seen Yoda as the teacher, as the wise Jedi Master, but I wanted to see Yoda just as the Jedi, said series writer Aaron. So this puts him on a very unusual adventure. Sounds like shit.
Yeah, I read this news blurb the other day myself, and I went, no! Because Yoda's the one character in Star Wars. Well, I can say that now until this Han Solo movie comes out. Yoda and Han Solo are the only two characters that are introduced in the movies. You don't know a bunch of their backstory. They're kind of cool. And the best part about them is you can fill in the blanks yourself. So if I want to believe that Han Solo fought off 1,000 men, on a fucking spice mission, I can buy in. I can believe that and make it up myself. But if I know what he did on this set date, it kills it. Yoda, you don't know what kind of species he is. You don't know where he comes from. You just know that he's this wise old Jedi Master. I don't think his backstory is interesting. I think this is part of the problem where Star Wars is going to tell you literally day by day by day who did this, what happened, how it ended. Oh, then the movie happened, and then this happened the day after. It's like, really? You're just going to kill this.
Well, right, and their whole reason for getting rid of the expanded universe was because it got so big that the lore started contradicting itself. But that was decades of stories. In just a few years since Disney's bought it, I already feel like they pumped out so much that it's going to be impossible to not contradict themselves.
Yeah, and I think it's just a greed thing. Like the day they announced that we're not going to acknowledge the EU anymore. I thought, well, it's just to pump out new books in their own canon. It's not for the fans. It's for the mouse.
Right. Nope. So garbage. I heard good things about the Star Wars comic itself, but it seems like the stuff I've been reading lately is just getting more and more convoluted and just pulling in things that shouldn't be connected. Like, I guess the backstory for this issue is Luke finds a journal entry from Obi-Wan when he was Qui-Gon's apprentice about Yoda before Episode 1, and so they're just really going out on a limb to try to include as many characters and connect them in ways that George Lucas didn't even.
Yeah, and I'll give George Lucas credit. I've gone back and watched a lot of the episodes 1 through 3 documentaries. That dude cared about what he was making.
You might not always agree with how he did it, but he had like a true respect of the art. Like, he wanted to make stories that were in his head the best way possible, whereas Disney's like, we have this formula, we have all these constants, so let's tweak some of the variables and just pump it out.
And the thing that they're doing that makes them smart is they know how the general public feels about the prequels, so they're just playing on those emotions like, oh, these aren't the bad prequels, this is the good stuff, bye from us. And you're just like, oh, maybe they're right. And then it's really nothing too exciting. Like this Yoda thing, I'm gonna pass. Sorry, Disney.
Yeah, a younger me, a less cynical me, probably would have been interested. But now that I've seen what Disney is doing, how they're handling the franchise, I'm just like, I'll see the movies, but beyond that, I'm not going to give them any more of my money, really. And unless something huge happens, in the outside media that says you have to see this or read this or whatever, I'm going to stick away because I don't want to get fatigued. And with a movie a year, that's right on the border. So anything more than that, I don't know.
I'm giving up on American Star Wars merchandise, too. I showed you what I'm buying. I'm going to still like Star Wars.
Tell the fans what you're referencing.
Well, I bought this thing called an SH Figure Arts action figure. It's of Luke Skywalker. It's hyper-realistic, and normally they're $80, but I found it for $45 with free shipping. But you can only get them in Japan. Hasbro, Disney... Well, I don't think it's Disney in this case because they get paid no matter what. But Hasbro has the block on 6-inch action figures in America, meaning no other company can produce them in this scale. So you can't sell them in America. But due to free trade in the world, you can just ship anything you want. So I'm having them shipped from Japan from now on. And these are the most realistic little figures. And it's just, to me, it's like anything that's Americanized Star Wars is going to be horseshit. You get horseshit products, you get bad comics, but in the other parts of the world where they got the license to make Star Wars stuff, it's really good quality that you can get. It's like a love letter to the old film. So I'm just sticking with love letters to the old films from now on.
Yeah, you showed me a picture and I was blown away with the paint job, the articulation, just how true to film it looked. Whereas I've been, you go into Walmart, Target, Toys R Us, and you look at what they're putting out. The paint's awful. The faces are disheveled. The eyes are cross-eyed. It's like they're mass-producing all this stuff at such a high rate that they're not taking the time to tune in the details, and it looks like garbage.
You can't even find half of that shit, too. That's the funny part. People are out there dying to get this shit, and it's like, oh, sorry, you can't get this. It's not going to be available to you.
Right, I saw right after Episode 7 came out, my kids wanted a Kylo Ren. And they were fucking sold out everywhere. You could find 30 fins on a rack, but no Kylo Rens. So then I jump online, and they're like $80 a pop, and I'm just like, how did Disney not know? Or whoever produced these action figures, how did they not know the demand for Kylo Ren would far supersede that of Finn?
Did you say the regular Kylo Ren figure?
Yeah, well, the Black Series, the 6-inch.
Because in my neck of the woods, dude, I see those all the time at Toys R Us.
Now they have them. But immediately after the film, there was a good 2-month stretch. They didn't have them anywhere, and I was looking online, and everyone's like, yeah, they're sold out, and so that's why everyone's jacking the prices up. Now they've re-released them or whatever in higher quantity. But at the time, I'm just like, why wouldn't you have enough ready for consumer demand?
And they fucked up the distribution, too. I don't know. Here's the thing. They've lowered the quality. They used to be really detailed little figures. And yeah, they were $10. No problem. You get a good quality for $10, or a good product for $10. Now you're getting a piece of shit for $8. I'd rather pay $2 extra to get the quality.
Then they went down to 5 points of articulation for most of their figures.
And they come with the most bullshit accessories too. It's not like they're putting out Okay, for example, there's these things called Power Ranger Legacy figures. I'm not buying them because I think they look like shit. Plus, I bought the superior Japanese version like 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
But each figure comes with a piece to make the Megazord action figure. So when you buy all 5 original Power Rangers, you'll have all 5 pieces and make a Megazord. When you get these Star Wars figures, it's like, here is a helmet that Chewbacca's never going to wear so he can go into space. It's like...
Yeah, I saw it. It was like fucking scuba gear.
Yeah, people in Star Wars don't wear that shit. Like, okay, no character in Star Wars goes out into open space, do they? In any of the films?
No.
No, nobody goes into open space. There's some space troopers, and all the spaceship battles are in outer space, but that's it. They go underwater in one film, and they wear rebreathers. That's it. Just little things they pop in their mouth. The Star Wars people, one thing that always bothers me about Star Wars is they never change their clothes. Like, their movies could take place over weeks. They just wear the same clothes to sell you the merchandise. It's like, here's Han Solo. He wore the same brown pants and blue jacket all of Empire. It's like weeks long, people. And then he's frozen in them, and then all he does is put on a new vest in Return of the Jedi. So hypothetically, he's wearing the same pants for like a year.
Well, I don't know if they're the same ones because doesn't Lando steal his clothes for a scene?
He steals the clothes from the first movie when he gets his little medal. And I had a discussion with that on the channel. Somebody, they're like, that's so retarded. Why couldn't something else? That's racist to make the black guy wear the white guy's clothes. I said...
Oh, really? Someone said that?
Yeah, some idiot. What I said to him is, look, think about it within the realm of the film. They just escaped Cloud City. Lando didn't plan on leaving with them. He all of a sudden got a bum deal and just ran away. So, 1, he didn't have time to pack a bag. And 2, if they go to look for Han Solo in the next couple days, I'm sure Han Solo keeps extra clothes on the ship.
Right.
So he just took what was there. Like, I'm a big dude, so it'd be different. But, I don't know, if Dion and one of my cousins were, on the hunt for me, Dion could interchange clothes with that dude and it wouldn't be a big deal. I don't know why people outside of the Family Guy joke actually care about that.
Fuck those. They're funny, those Family Guy episodes, but they do make it harder to watch this stuff without thinking of Family Guy. So I've banned myself from watching those episodes ever again because I want to be able to enjoy Star Wars.
Yeah, Star Wars is much more important culturally. But back to what you're saying, sorry about the Star Wars toys for your kids.
No, it's all right. I eventually found one, and I got a cool Darth Vader with a removable helmet.
Oh, okay.
6-inch black one, so those are pretty cool.
I like the Black Series Stormtrooper, and I like the Black Series Boba Fett. Han Solo, I got him, and I got Chewbacca, and I got Luke. I got about 6 Black Series figures. They were cool in the beginning when they were really trying, but then when the Episode 3 ones came out, that Anakin and Obi-Wan that you saw everywhere for like a year...
Oh, Jesus.
They looked terrible.
Yep.
And now the quality has dropped. I know your kids don't really care. I mean, they just want a toy. Like, if I look back on all the old Inspector Gadget figures, they were pretty shitty, but they were the only things out there of Inspector Gadget, and I wanted all of them. But it's so embarrassingly bad. And you would think that, Star Wars, the biggest media hyped thing ever, the biggest franchise of all time, should have the greatest toys of all time. And they're kind of shitty. I mean, it's all Hasbro's fault. They're fucking lazy. And
well, that's the thing. They know that people are going to buy them in spite of all the flaws or the mispaintings or whatever. They just know that they can just keep pumping it out and people are going to consume it.
Well, I can honestly say, not me. I haven't bought a Hasbro action figure in years. I bought the original Black Series ones, which came out in 2013. And then
I remember going on the hunt for that Black Series Boba Fett with you. We went to every Toys R Us, Target, Walmart, anything we could find, trying to find him.
And then I found him at the Disney store.
Yeah.
And he was like $3 more than Toys R Us prices, and I don't care. It was worth it.
Yeah, because online now he goes for at least $150.
Yeah, the fucking stupid one that comes with the Han Solo and Carbonite block. I just think Star Wars collecting is good, but it's also bad. It brings out a lot of bad shit in people. And I had one question I wanted to ask you. Are your kids excited for Rogue One?
Yeah, they keep asking when the next Star... They keep thinking Episode 8. They're like, oh, when's Episode 8 come out? And I'm like, well, that's in 2 years, but we got one coming out in December. They don't really talk about that one so much because in their head... Like, my son, Cage, knows every episode. Like, I can ask him specific scenes just to test him, and he'll be like, that's Episode 3, that's Episode 5. So he's huge into the lore. So he's looking at, toward Episode 8. Rogue One, I'll mention it, and I'll try to explain where it takes place. And I don't know if they just don't comprehend, like, well, there's 3 and there's 4. Like, what do you mean there's something in between? But they don't seem as interested as they are for Episode 8.
Well, the only reason I asked is because Hasbro thinks that kids are so excited for these Star Wars toys. So they're releasing this new AT-ACT walker. and it's $300.
No, I would never. I would never.
I know you love your kids and you'll hunt down Black Series figures, but I'm just curious if you would spend $300 on an AT-AT, or a rip-off of an AT-AT walker that plugs into your cell phone and walks on its own.
No, and here's why. I could buy them 30 of the 3 3/4 inch figures for the price of one fake AT-AT walker. Why would I ever do that?
Yeah, I'm just asking because you're a guy with a couple of kids that are into Star Wars, and
No, it was a good question. It was a good question, but the answer is no.
No. To quote an Italian guy, I would never buy it strictly because of the shitty quality. I mean, if you go back just a few years when we were right at the ass end of being at Michigan State together, they were pumping out some really good toys. And we were buying them. We were grown-ass men with girlfriends.
Because they were high-quality toys. Like, they looked authentic and real, and like somebody put a lot of time into crafting them.
And they were worth, $11 with tax. $9.99 was what, $10.60 something with tax? Yep. It was worth it all. I just look at everything and I go, oh, and that's how I feel about Star Wars in general. I know this was a long way to bring it back to the Yoda thing, but in general, everything that's coming out Star Wars new it just feels fake and old and useless. And Rogue One, the trailer was cool. I don't know. One thing I'm torn about. We talked about the reshoots extensively on the podcast, World Class Bullshitters. Now, reshoots, good or bad, they happen with a lot of movies. My only concern is if they've gone back for these extensive ones, what would I like more? Would the original one have a better vision, or is Disney stepping in and trying to be more family friendly? I'm just worried that maybe what we were going to get originally was going to be really good.
And that's what I'm wondering too. That and Suicide Squad. We talk about David Ayers or whatever had a completely different version that he had tested, and for whatever reason, the audience thought it was too dark, so then they went back, reshot some stuff, re-edited, reconfigured. And I would like to see his original version, because I would bet it was better than what they put out. And you bring that up to Star Wars here, I bet we will never see the original version. They don't do that shit with Star Wars. Disney never does director's cuts like that.
No, all the Avengers stuff either.
What's that?
Even with the Avengers stuff.
Yeah, no, even, yeah, you think these huge movies, they'd have, a plethora, like an extended cut. No. But Star Wars, when I originally heard about this film a few years back, they said it was going to be gritty, like Saving Private Ryan, just kind of a dark war film. And now it seems like they're trying to make it kid-friendly, because that's what test audiences want, is to laugh at the end of every scene. I would love, like you said, to see the original cut, just to compare them, if nothing else.
Yeah, and you bring up movies having alternate cuts. The original Star Wars, if you could say to me, Jeff, what's the one movie you want to see the alternate take of? The original Star Wars, from what I've read over the years, there's like an alternate take to every scene. Alternate pacing, alternate scene structure. I would love to see the one that George Lucas showed his friends. I'm sure it sucks, but just to be one of those few people that can say I've actually seen it.
Well, and just see the evolution of art, to see how it went from that vision to this. I mean, just to be able to measure qualitatively like what changed, I think is just interesting in and of itself, to be able to compare things. But we're going to get this sanitized, kid-friendly Disney film, and I'd be pissed if I were Gareth Edwards or whatever his name is.
Well, you got to play the game, man, because look what happened to Josh Trank with 20th Century Fox. It's like, if you don't play the game with Disney, you're going to be kind of blacklisted.
Yeah.
Which is bullshit, too, because Disney, man, they're not putting out perfect movies. Like, from what I've read online, they don't really mess with the Marvel movies. It's all Kevin Feige and the people at Marvel Entertainment. That's kind of its own thing. Disney just funds certain things, and if something's completely objectionable, they step in. But other than that, they're left to their own devices. From what I heard with Star Wars, though, they're like in every little detail. Because I guess they paid, 4 times
$4 billion or whatever the rumor was.
I bet you they've made all their money back, though.
Oh, they had to have.
They're
not going to make an investment like that doesn't pay off within a matter of years.
Well, they've owned it since 2012. The one cool thing is that 20th Century Fox still owns all the home video rights for the original saga until 2020, and they always own the original Star Wars film. So if 20th Century Fox wanted to, they could constantly release that first film and all its different things with it, because they own it forever. They could actually, if they wanted to, they could blackball Disney and say you could never release Star Wars Episode 4.
And that's what I would do. I would play hardball with Disney, because just to leverage them to get other stuff, I would definitely use Episode 4 to my advantage.
Yeah, I mean, Fox could be like, you guys want X-Men or something. Well, we want X amount of dollars for to keep Star Wars or something. The ball's in Fox's court. Thankfully, it kind of worked out that way. Because I know I, for one, was excited when Disney bought Star Wars. I was like, oh man, they're going to put out a ton of movies. They're going to be great. It's going to make the old school shit. And when it was actually the same old school shit, and it was just kind of dumber and like not even flashier, it was like one thing you can say about the prequels. They're a lot flashier than the original movies. Good or bad. I'm not here to judge those films right now, but
I'll say good. I like the scenes on Coruscant with the bright neon. I like the different worlds they introduced us to, and just showed how big the galaxy actually was.
yeah, and in this one we essentially have a new Tatooine. Like, could you, with the exception of Jabba the Hutt running the place, could you tell me a difference between Jakku and Tatooine? Not really. It's a sand planet.
Oh.
One has a hole for a Sarlacc pit, and the other one has a crashed Star Destroyer. Hell, Tatooine could have one on the other side of the planet for all we fucking know.
Right.
I would just say there's nothing too exciting. At least with those prequels, it's like, well, Naboo. You've never seen a lush world in Star Wars. Everything was beaten down. That's the one thing the prequels did. It's like pre-Empire, post-Empire. It was
It
really
really showed the kind of devastating effect that Sheev Palpatine had, and I love that. But we should probably jump back to the movie news really quick.
Oh yeah, we'll do a Star Wars news show in the future.
That'd be awesome. But the late actor Paul Walker's brother recently told Entertainment Tonight that he received a phone call from Vin Diesel asking for his blessing to use Walker's likeness in Furious 8. He wanted our blessing, Caleb Walker said, adding that the film sought to let Paul's fans know that he's still out there. Fast 8 arrives in theaters April 27, 2017. No word yet if the tree that killed Walker will be making a cameo or not.
Just let the dead man lie there. Don't put him in it. You know what? They should have had the balls in Fast and Furious 7 to kill him. He should have fucking died. They should have killed him in that scene where... Have you seen Fast 7?
I haven't, but I heard that he has like a farewell thing where he just like drives off.
Yeah, and earlier in the movie, there's a scene where he's on a bus, and the bus is about to fall off a mountain. They should have had him fall out. They should have CGI'd him falling out, killed him off, then had the movie for Paul, and then they could write out never having to have Brian O'Connor in the fucking movie. I think it's really shitty that they're going to CGI him in there somehow.
Yeah, it is. Now, isn't what they did in 7, I didn't see it, but I remember reading, I thought, that they used his brother and then CGI'd the face a little bit to make him look completely like him for scenes that they hadn't shot yet. Is that true?
Yeah, at the end when you talked about the scene where he drives away, that's the scene where it's this really awkward looking Paul Walker-esque face. And you know it's not him, but it looks like him.
Is it kind of like, Jeff Bridges' character in Tron, the sequel?
Yeah, exactly like it is in Tron Legacy. It's unnatural, it's creepy. I don't like it.
So yeah, I mean, I'm not a big fan of the Fast series. I think I watched the first 3 through Tokyo Drift, and then I kind of fell off from it. But yeah, it just seems weird that like his character seemed, from what I read, to have been given a send off in 7, but they want fucking money so bad. They're gonna use a dead guy's likeness in the next film. It's just fucking ridiculous.
And here's the question I have. I always thought of the Fast and Furious movies as Vin Diesel's movies, and Paul Walker was just the white guy I didn't really give a shit about. Like, I always cared about what Vin Diesel was doing. Maybe I'm in the minority here. Hell, even The Rock. I don't even care about what The Rock does in those movies. It could just be Vin Diesel and, like, Ludacris and the other guys, and I'm still going to go see it because I like those characters. Paul Walker is never... He's, like, on the bottom of the list of characters I care about. And, yeah, I wish he wouldn't have died, but I don't see, like, what greed can motivate this.
Right, what can you get from using a dead man's likeness in a film that we already assumed he wouldn't be in?
It's going to try to play to the emotions of the people, because this probably has a piss-poor script. I mean, isn't Helen Mirren the fucking bad guy?
No clue.
It's just... This is the most unnecessary Fast and Furious movie. I've seen all of them in theaters except Part 3. I like all of them, including Part 3. This might be the one that breaks me.
It's 3 Tokyo Drift, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
First time I ever saw that was when I was on vacation to WrestleMania 24. I was on HBO, and I was sitting in my hotel room alone thinking, this is pretty good.
Yeah, it's been years since I watched the franchise. I think I liked him when I was younger. I don't know why I stopped watching. But
yeah, you grew up, and, you had stuff to do.
Well, Todd McFarlane, not to jump ship, but I'm gonna. Todd McFarlane was recently quoted as saying that, yes, a Spawn reboot is in the works. In an interview with comicbook.com, the Image co-founder confirmed rumors that Spawn will be making his return in a dark, R-rated, scary, badass movie. Those are his words. He added that Spawn will be a sort of boogeyman, a specter, a ghost, and that he won't have his traditional rubber suit, but will be something more ethereal. No fucking clue what that means, but Dion better be happy.
That's the first thing I thought of when you mentioned this. I was like, oh, Dion's gonna fucking come everywhere. Have you seen the original Spawn movie?
I did. When I was a kid, I remember we had this little pizza place out where I lived. There's not a whole lot out there, but they had pizza and movie rentals, and I rented that one like every week for a few months.
Really? A few months?
Yeah, I was a little kid, and I just, every time we'd go up there, I'd rent it again. Like, I wanted to see it because as a kid, I appreciated the storytelling device they used where, you have this demon guy, he has all these powers, and then he's fighting against like a normal human. Well, why wouldn't he kill him? Well, because if the human dies, a nuke goes off and kills everyone. Like, what a cool storytelling concept. That's at least what I remember from it as, now that I'm an adult.
Don't watch it as an adult, then.
Kind of like RoboCop.
See, now, I hated RoboCop as a kid. And I've kind of grown into it as an adult because it's supposed to be a comedy. So. But I just remember seeing Spawn as a child, and I went, I don't really like this. I'm going to watch Batman instead. I lived and died for Batman forever. I know it's not the best one, but man, 10-year-old...
Is that the one with nipples on the batsuit?
I think it might have at the end, but you're thinking of Batman and Robin. Batman Forever is the one with the Riddler and Two-Face, and it's still kind of serious. So it's like it's right in between jokey and campy and dark. It's right in between there, and that's kind of why I liked it.
Okay.
Plus, I really had the hots for Nicole Kidman as a little kid.
Oh, I didn't realize that she was in that. It's been
she looks
at least a decade and a half since I watched anything like that.
Well, she's really hot in that movie, so if you ever want to be like, wow, Nicole Kidman was really hot at one point in time.
Well, see, I just watched Eyes Wide Shut for that.
Okay. Well, there you go. It's the same era Nicole Kidman, so she'll just be fully dressed.
Okay. Well, speaking of Batman, Zack Snyder revealed the first image of J.K. Simmons as Commissioner Gordon this week, the longtime friend and ally of Batman. Simmons was quoted as saying that his role in the Justice League will be minor, but that he'll play a much larger role in the 2018 solo Batman film.
I saw this image online. It was pretty cool. I was excited.
Yeah, my problem is that he'll always be J. Jonah Jameson to me.
Yep, I'm a Spider-Man guy before I'm a Batman guy, and it bothers me that he has jumped ship.
Yeah, it's always weird. We've seen a lot of actors that appeared in a different franchise jump over. Ryan Reynolds, Scott Evans, these other guys. But for whatever reason, this one in particular, it's hard for me to envision him not being J. Jonah Jameson. Like, they showed the image of him, and he looked exactly like he did in Spider-Man. So I don't know. I don't know.
I'm with you there, because I don't like the current Spider-Man movies. I'm not a Andrew Garfield fan. I'm not really sold on Tom Holland yet. I gotta see more. I'm afraid what they're gonna do with that movie is, it's gonna be a fucking jump-off point for, this is the most mixed cast in Marvel history, and we're like, who cares? Mary Jane should be white, and so should Flash Thompson. If you want to cast all these characters as, like, Mark or Peter or Johnny or something random like that, I'm all for that. But, you got to make these characters look just like they did in the book.
Or I want to bring up something. My cousin Ty, he listens to the show. You know Ty.
Of course, I've actually promoted him.
Good. He's a really good guy. He's very down-to-earth, kind. I'd never hear him say anything controversial. But we were talking about Suicide Squad, and he goes, you know what made Amanda Waller so good in that movie? Because she looked like Amanda Waller. And he brought up how in the comics, how in the cartoon shows, she was always like a larger black woman. And he said, seeing her on screen as a live-action character was cool because she looked the exact same. He goes, why doesn't that apply to white characters?
And
like, why are everyone but whites off limits to their characters being changed?
It's funny, I brought this up with people of color and just other people that are too progressive for their own good, and they can't come with anything. They go, well, it's about time they deserve... What do they deserve? These are supposed to be representations. It's not like I got to go first, now it's your turn. These are popular characters. This is how they look. Honor it. Because, if I'm gonna go put out if I go draw a character that looks just like Mary Jane and try to market it, Marvel's gonna come after me, be like, that's copyright infringement. But then I would try to go, oh, well, that's not what Mary Jane looks like in the movie. She's some half black girl who can't act. Well, that's a reimagining. Well, mine is a fucking redhead character that's not Mary Jane, like, so you can't claim it's Mary Jane if you can't even get what Mary Jane looks like right. Ty's 100%.
They're overstepping their boundaries. Then they're owning the likeness. They're owning the non-likeness. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me. These films were supposed to be comic book panels brought to life. I don't know who this bitch is, but I know who Amanda Waller is, and she looked just like her. You know what I mean? It's just strange to me. And my cousin, who never says anything, that would ever piss anyone off, that was even a point that he made. And I was like, well, if he says it, there's got to be something to it.
And if you notice, they don't fuck with the main characters that are going to bring in the money. Like, they'll never do a black Batman. Somebody goes, what about Black Batman? And then some smart fan actually went, well, it makes no sense. If Bruce Wayne's family is supposed to be of this rich American heritage, if you go back so many years, the people are going to be slaves, and it wouldn't make any sense.
Mm-hmm.
And I agree with that. But it would make no sense to make any of these characters black or Asian or Hispanic. Like, I'm not going to support the new Defenders, where you got the Asian Hulk and the brown Miss Marvel and all. Who the fuck are these characters? I mean, I'm in my 20s still. It's not like I'm some old curmudgeon. I grew up with the set generic characters. Oh, too bad they're all white. I'm not white. I still like them. What's your argument? I'm not a white guy. Don't try to use this whole white guilt shit on me. I like the white characters. They're the better ones. They're better written. They're not fucking fake. And the black characters that are there are awesome. Like in Spider-Man, if we want to take it back forever ago, what's his name? Joe Robbie Robertson. Black dude. The only guy that could stand up to J. Jonah Jameson. That's how you write a good black character. You give that guy power that's not like a superpower over other things in his life, and he's in control, and that shows he's a strong, capable individual. Same thing with his kid, Randy Robertson. They wrote him in, and Peter Parker and him are roommates. That's how you write in black characters or characters of other color. You just bring them in. Mary Jane doesn't wake up as an alien in the morning. She's just fucking white. Leave it alone. Like, it's not a problem that these characters are white. I don't have a problem that there are white people in the world. The next president's going to be white. That's not a problem.
Right, and I am a white guy. Well, I want to jump back to you really quick. It is funny how whenever we talk about this, people will call you out and go, you're fucking white privilege, white race, all this shit. I'm like, he's not white. I don't understand how you guys haven't picked up on that yet. Like, you can't, I know that's their only talking point, but it doesn't apply. And, but for me as a white guy, I am white. There are plenty of black characters I love. Like I said, my son Cohen, the character he loves from Star Wars most is Finn. We got him the costume. He always talks about how he wants to be Finn when he's older. Like, we aren't racist. Just like I wouldn't want years from now Finn's character to be played by a white guy, I don't want white characters from right now being played by a black guy. I don't see why that makes me a bad person.
It's just these people are too small-minded to actually have an argument. They're acting with emotion, not common sense. It's like, oh, I'm supposed to feel good, I'm supposed to love everybody, and I'm supposed to let all these refugees into the country. It's like, yeah, I know, I've been listening to a lot of news lately. I'm fucking charged up. But these fans, I'm gonna call them dumb fans, they don't think through anything. They're just like, well, I feel. It doesn't matter what you fucking feel, okay?
I wish The Rock was here.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
It just, what matters, Jabroni, is what's logical and what honors these things. Because you're going to try to market me, oh, this is an adaptation of Spider-Man. Cool. Then give me an adaptation of Spider-Man. Don't give me a reimagining of Spider-Man. Don't give me something completely different, but paste a picture of Spider-Man over and say, ta-da, it's different. No, motherfucker. Don't use any of these. No movie. No superhero. No Star Wars movie. No, unless it's a fucking political thriller or something. Don't put politics in my movies. I don't want to watch, like you said about escapism. I go to see the Avengers to get away from the stupid people. I don't need all of a sudden to go, well, we need these people because they're black on the team. That's stupid. The Falcon's amazing. He just happens to be black. Tony Stark's amazing. He just happens to be white. It doesn't really fucking matter that you here's my final thought on it. You're not owed anything. You're not owed a black Spider-Man. You're not owed a Lady Thor. You're not owed a gay Iceman. All right? Those are marketing ploys by a fucking desperate company to get people to talk about their books and to buy their books. And yes, I'm guilty of talking about their books at great length, mostly negative, but I'm not going out there to buy said books. I can't support this dumb shit. That's my biggest problem with entertainment right now, is just the stupidity behind all of it. It's not well thought out. It's not logical. You get the few things like Stranger Things. That makes sense, you know? That all, the character choices and all that stuff, that was logical. But it's just, I don't know. I feel like it's only the shit aimed towards like that tween audience. They're trying to change their views because they don't put that shit in stuff for adults. Like if you go watch Daredevil, if you're white, you're white. If you're black, you're black. People fuck, people curse, people do all this shit. It's real. It's the kiddie shit that they try to like change people's perceptions on. I wonder why that is.
Well, there was a book from the 70s called Rules for Radicals by this guy named Saul Alinsky, and it talks all about how if you're in control of media and stuff like that, you need to target youth and the poor. That way, when they come to voting age and power of their own, then you have their political ideologies ingrained in them that you want. But that's a discussion for a different time.
Well, we need to have it the closer we get to the election.
That's true. I'm actually going through it right now. Obama and Clinton, both connections to this book. It's actually on the back of the book talking about how they were influenced by this guy's writings. But that's for a different show, probably with Matt DeMille. We can do a show with him about it, I'm sure.
Oh, God, yeah.
But something I wanted to say about what you just said is, you know, I've been thinking about how everyone, all the progressives are talking about how they want this diversity stuff. Like, we want a black Spider-Man. So what they're saying is, we want stuff to spend money on. Like, I want to spend money on people that look like me. It's not like it's for some noble thing. It's just for whatever reason you have this money and you want to part with it. And you want to part with it in a thing that looks like you. And I guess that's what it boils down to, is you want more shit to spend money on. So you want to change what's already established. And that's a really fucking stupid thing.
People are dumb.
Let's move on, though. We've exhausted that, I think. But back to Star Wars. The Hollywood Reporter revealed that Alexandre Desplat, the original composer for Rogue One, has been replaced by Michael Giacchino just 3 short months before the film debuts. Desplat had scored Godzilla and Grand Budapest Hotel and had been working on Rogue One since last year. His replacement, Italian stupid ethnic sounding name, scored The Incredibles, Star Trek, and the Medal of Honor video game series. He was supposedly hired to take Desplat's spot because of the extensive reshoots. So we're about 2.5 months away before it debuts, and they're already redoing the whole score.
Do you think it's possible that Star Wars shits the bed this early in its Disney acquisition?
I don't want to believe it, but that doesn't make it not true.
I think it could be a garbage film, but you're going to get people that can't emotionally say it's bad. They're like, oh, it wasn't that good, but it's Star Wars and I love it anyway. That's the sign of a bad fan.
Mm-hmm.
I can't stand people like that. It's like, oh, you know, it's complete garbage, but it says the word Star Wars on it, so it's instantly worth my time and money, and you should buy it too, because it's Star Wars.
Yeah, I don't know. That seems really strange because a score seems like a really important thing that requires a lot of nuance, detail, and time. And if you've had one guy working on it for a year, and then you throw that all out and replace it with a guy who's going to do it for at most 2 months, a big part of Star Wars is the soundtrack.
Yeah, I'd say it's 1/3 visuals, 1/3 acting, 1/3 music.
That's not a bad equation. And this is, of course, the first film that John Williams had no part in, and they're already fucking it up. Like, I guess I don't understand why. What's the why behind it? Because how could if they're going to say that they didn't do reshoots to change the tone, then why would you need to redo the soundtrack? The soundtrack is just the audible tone of it. You're going to tell me to my face that you didn't change stuff so much that you had to completely change how people hear things? Like, I don't believe it.
And the fucking Forrest Whitaker character's got a completely different look. I think they actually changed who he was. Because now he's this character, Saul Guerrero, who ties into the fucking Rebels cartoon. Like, that's going to sell movie tickets. Like, this character's in Rebels. You've wanted to see him for the last 6 weeks, right, guys? Star Wars. Oh, my God.
Just to clarify, you're going to get some fans that go, no, Clone Wars. Either way, it's fucking retarded that they're tying into something that the vast minority have seen,
Yeah,
and that you wouldn't know unless they force fed it to you that it's the same person.
if we're gonna go, what's the most widely seen Star Wars things? It's the original trilogy, and I'd say it's the original movie that's the most widely seen
Mm-hmm.
because it sold the most tickets. It had the biggest influence, and it's the law of diminishing returns. Even if we look at the box office, Star Wars made a bunch, Empire made less, Return of the Jedi made more than Empire, but they still made significantly less than the first film.
Mm-hmm.
Then the prequels come out, they made a lot of money, but they didn't have as wide of a reach. I'd say the original ones are, universally praised and universally seen, and the prequels are seen by a younger generation. I wouldn't say the same people that went to see the original trilogy was rushing out to see the prequels. Maybe the kids were. If you were a kid when Star Wars came out and the prequels came out, you were there. But if you were like, I don't know, 45 years old and you're
Right, you're not going to go see a Star Wars movie when you're 70.
yeah, and you're like, well, there's no Luke Skywalker. I'll wait for video. That's the kind of shit people fail to realize. And then if you wait till video, sometimes you forget. Like, I wanted to see this movie called Desierto so bad. I missed it in theaters. I have no clue if it's ever coming out on Blu-ray. Like, sorry, Javier Bardem Morgan. I wanted to go see that movie.
Oh, he's awesome. He's an awesome actor.
I wanted to go see it, but I completely missed it. And let's play Doomsday Scenario real quick. Because I love these, and you're the only person on the podcast that could, besides Dion, that could actually go into detail with this with me. Let's say Rogue One completely shits the bed, meaning it is terrible. Like, critics hate it, fans hate it, and it makes money, but it makes about half of what you would expect. Let's say it just breaks even.
Okay.
What do you think they do with Star Wars? Do you think they slow the reins on the anthology films and focus solely on Episode 8? Or do you think they say fuck it and just keep doing what they're doing?
I would guess probably more of the latter. They wouldn't slow down because they wouldn't want to admit they made a mistake. They wouldn't slow down with the Han Solo film. What they would do is they do a bunch of reshoots on 8. Anything that resembled Rogue One, they would change because they go, well, that didn't work, so we got to get rid of it completely in 8. And they would do a quick double-speak campaign where they would stop talking about Rogue One and then just build up Episode 8 and how it maintains the original flavor of the original saga. That's how I would go about it.
Now, do you think that would hurt Episode 8?
I think it would hurt Episode 8, but it was only a one-time shit the bed, and people are pretty forgiving. Just look at DC.
I think it's too early to say look at DC for one reason. We had Man of Steel come out, and we saw that there were some reactionary things in Batman v Superman, but then Suicide Squad came out so early, and they're so front-loaded, it's going to take until maybe Justice League to see any changes because everything's so far into production.
Mm-hmm.
I think what would happen is they would tell you certain things about Episode 8, but Episode 8 would come out. And did you listen to this past week's show, by the way?
No, because you guys were doing spoilers for Episode 8's plot.
They're not spoilers, they're hypotheticals, and if these hypothetical plot points are what's going to be in this movie, this would be the absolute dumbest Star Wars movie. Like, I don't like 7. 7 would be a masterpiece in comparison. I don't know how this movie... Because here's the thing. Every Star Wars film up until this one has a beginning, a middle, and an end. Like, Empire may end on a cliffhanger, but the whole story had been completed. This one just stops in the middle.
Are you saying this is like Matrix 2?
Yes, where it just stops midway, and then they pick up the next moment. And it's so dumb. If that's what they're doing with Episode 8, we're not saying this is, we don't have any insider knowledge.
When I read the headline and read some of the comments that you guys were doing hard spoilers, because I had seen on other websites where they're like, oh, plot leaks, and I'm just like, nope, keeping my eyes and ears off all that shit.
This is all, like we even said, these are all just hypotheticals. We don't know. I doubt. Here's the thing. I want them to be real because then people would realize how dumb the new Star Wars movies are. But if they are real, who thought this was a good idea? Even I'm going to feel a little bad to watch Star Wars go down like this. Because the older people with more disposable income are getting tired of this shit. I interact with a lot of them online. They're tired of the crappy merchandise. They don't like these new movies. They're just going to either wait till Blu-ray or not go see them in theaters. Okay, so you're alienating a big audience. You're alienating the audience with the biggest income. It's nice to target all these teenagers that are going to go throw money at it, but they're going to go throw money at it one time, and they're going to walk out of the theater and go, oh, it was a movie. The people that you're alienating are the guys that are like, well, that was great. I'm going to go out and pick up the entire wave of action figures. Oh, I'm going to go get this Hot Toys doll. Oh, I'm going to get the Blu-ray, and I'll get the Blu-ray 3D edition. Oh, I'm going to get this ship. Oh, I'm going to buy this model kit. Oh, I'm going to do this. I'll even get the Nerf gun, even though it's retarded. Like, those are the people. I'm not saying you only want to cater to them because they're a smaller audience, but you got to find a happy medium. And you're losing them, and I think you'll even lose the teens if this episode 8 plot is real.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but it sounds like shit, so...
Do me a favor. Just think of the worst possible scenario in a Star Wars film, and it's probably in this.
All right. Oh, so in world news, I'm sure we all heard about the past week's events where the government performed a false flag operation to take away your rights because they hate you and you deserve it. And in sports, a bunch of rich black people ran around playing a game that doesn't mean anything, and a bunch of people tweeted about it. So
that's a Sunday.
That's sports, and that's the world news. That's our news segment. Do you got anything else, Jeff?
No, I mean, I'm going to keep it out of politics until we get closer to the election, because everyone's all of a sudden an armchair politician when it's a presidential race. Everyone knows everything. Like, remember when Harambe got shot? Everyone's a fucking animal expert, a child psychology expert. Everybody. Like, don't question anyone's logic. You know, you'll trigger them. They know every fucking thing. Because they have an opinion, it means it's, right, needs to be heard. No, if you don't know what you're talking about, shut the fuck up. Okay? I don't care if it's movies, if it's TV, it's video games, whatever. If you don't know what you're talking about, shut up. Don't try to tell me some shit like you know it, and then I'm like, well, you're wrong, then I'll never listen to you again. That's the beauty of the comments section. I don't have to actually listen to these people talk. Like, I can just be like, oh, they're full of shit. I'm not going to read the rest of this.
The idiots that watch our videos, I don't understand.
Well, we got a core of good fans, and they know who they are. Like, they watch every video, they comment, they give us thumbs up. But then there's the, odd person that comes out of nowhere and starts talking shit. And I'm like, go away.
Go away. Shoe fly.
Yeah, don't bother me, man. I don't hassle you on your channel with 4 subscribers and, your one video that has 8 views and came out 6 years ago. Like, I don't bother you.
Hot girl that used to watch our videos.
Anna B?
Yeah.
She just came back to the comments section. She still watches.
Okay.
We haven't lost any of our core audience. We did lose a bunch of people, but I think they must have been dead accounts. Because remember, I had a YouTube channel that had 80 subscribers years ago, and I just kind of parlayed it into what we have now.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm assuming it's those that got killed off. But we're close to 2,000. I can't wait till we pass 2,000 so I can finally stop going only 60 away. Now we're 70 away. Fuck. Now we're 80 away. Fuck. We're getting up there. We're getting back. Whatever. We'll make it to 2,000 at the end of the year. I'm hoping. What I really like is for us to make it to 2,000 by our 50th episode.
That would be good.
Because then I could celebrate 2,000 subscribers, episode 50, all that and the other, and then people can come to this video and talk shit to you and me, because that's what they always do, especially with our Iron Man video. Everyone's got to talk some shit about that.
Oh God!
We have people threatening to kill us.
Yeah, release personal information and all that stuff. Well,
I don't have any personal information on the internet. I mean, yeah, you can find anyone's address. Whoop-de-doo. Really, you're gonna come from Canada to my house? That's a waste of time.
Well, if it was Anna B, I'd be all about it.
Well, that's a different story. She's not gonna come to your house and try to scare you, or bring a gun.
God, we're vulgar. We are pieces of shit.
We're world-class bullshitters.
Anna B, thank you for being attractive and listening. Not trying to be creepy, because that's probably what it's coming across, but it is funny, because you should see all the mouth breathers that we deal with, so it's refreshing to have.
At least you're aware of how creepy you are.
No, come on now. Oh. So we're going to go to our interview segment now. Like Jeff talked about at the beginning of the show, starting next week, we're going to have a fan each week joining us for a little segment where I'm going to fire some rapid questions at them. Jeff can come up with some too. But this week, Jeff is the guest because I kind of sprung this on him. So but before we get started, I'm going to have to do a word from our sponsors. Of course, this segment is sponsored by NetDix. NetDix, where you can stream your favorite phallic-centric films all in one place, with new original series added each month, like Bareback Devil and Stranger Wangs, all for only $69 a month. NetDix, when you need something to stare at. Out of the way, they got bills to pay. I know. So these are broken up into a couple sections, Jeff. There's not many of them. There's about 35 questions.
Okay, that's not many at all.
No, so most of them, though, are going to be, you got to pick one or the other. Then we do a would you rather. Then you got to list your favorite this or that, and then some just yes or no's.
Cool.
So,
bring it on.
So the first 10 are going to be, you have to pick which one of the two you like more.
Okay.
Tits or ass?
Tits.
Marvel or DC comic books?
Currently DC.
Episode 7 or episode 2?
Episode 2.
Affleck or Bale?
Bale.
Iron Man or Captain America?
Movie or comics?
Both.
Captain America.
Chinese or Mexican food?
Mexican.
Feminist or skinheads?
Skinheads.
Jim Carrey or Adam Sandler?
Jim Carrey.
Schwarzenegger or Stallone?
Schwarzenegger.
Riley Reid or Rachel Starr?
Riley Reid.
Nice. You got most of those correct. Okay, so next we got 5 would you rathers. They're all pretty boring, pretty serious, but just bear with it. Would you rather drown or burn to death?
You technically you suffocate either way, so I'm gonna go with drown.
Okay, just because you don't want to feel your skin.
Yeah.
Okay. Would you rather eat Hillary Clinton's shit or eat Melissa McCarthy out?
Melissa McCarthy.
You'd rather eat Melissa McCarthy out?
Hillary Clinton's sick. I don't know what's in her shit. All the chemicals and stuff they pump into her body. I'll just have a lot of shame, but I won't die.
All right. Would you rather watch an all-day marathon of the new Ghostbusters or episode 7?
One time?
Nope, all-day marathon for both.
Ghostbusters.
Really?
I hate Star Wars Episode 7. It's not even a joke anymore. It's just like my mantra. I hate Star Wars Episode 7.
You're scaring me with all your Melissa McCarthy loving. Would you rather have Zack Snyder direct Star Wars Episode 9 or have Melissa McCarthy take over for Princess Leia in Episode 9?
Zack Snyder! Come on!
Okay. And here's the last one of the would you rathers. Would you rather make out with Paul Feig or get throat fucked by an elephant?
Oh, God. Ew. Nobody wins. I'm going to pick Paul Feig because I don't want any permanent damage.
There'd be some psychological damage.
I can live with psychological damage, but if my neck is broken and I'm in a wheelchair, all I can do is thinking about, I tried to blow an elephant and I died.
Well, folks, you heard it. Jeff wants to make out with Paul Feig. Feig it.
One of our fans wants us to call it Fecal Matter from now on.
Fecal Matter? Okay. That's good. That's actually clever. Okay, so now we got some, you gotta do your favorites or least favorites. You'll pick up on it. Favorite country song?
Oh. None?
You gotta pick one. Ugh.
The theme to Rawhide.
Okay, don't know what that is, but it sounds gross. Least favorite country?
Least favorite. Serbia.
Why?
Because of a Serbian film.
Okay. Oh, God, gross. There are lines even for me, and you just stepped over it. Oh, favorite set of tits?
Christina Hendricks.
Least favorite film franchise with at least one film in it that you like?
Least favorite. Star Trek.
Tell me your favorite joke.
Dan's sex life.
Oh, nice. Favorite song or theme or background music from an MCU film?
MCU film?
Yes.
I'm just going to pick the Avengers theme because it's the only one I can hum off the top of my head.
Okay. Best way to die?
Having a heart attack while getting laid.
If you could swap lives with one celebrity, who would it be?
Leonardo DiCaprio.
If you had to see somebody get their head cut off on TV for real, who would it be?
Who would it be? That's a tough question. I don't really want to see that, but if I have to,
you gotta pick one person.
Gotta. Okay, I'm trying to keep this up so the fans don't think I'm pussying out. Jared Leto. Fuck it, I don't care.
Okay, and this one was got a lot of requests from this one. It's kind of a lighter one, but where would you carry out a mass shooting?
I'll preface it with nowhere, but oh shit, I don't know. I don't have the urge to hurt anybody, but if I have to watch someone get their head chopped off and then I go into an emotional tizzy or I just go nuts, Kroger.
See, I understand the logic of it. Yeah.
Yeah, Kroger.
Kroger.
Yeah.
See, my friend, I asked him a few nights ago at poker, and he said a football stadium. He said he'd go to the top and just aim down.
Oh Jesus.
Yeah, he's fucked up in the head.
Now, does it have to be with a gun or can it be with an RPG?
Gun.
Oh, okay. Now, I don't want to do this, but I've always wondered what would happen if, like, somebody took a bomb into, like, a packed stadium and just blew it up, like, what the casualties would be.
The old Bane.
Yeah.
Yes!
Yeah, but, like, say we're at WrestleMania and we're on the other side, and all of a sudden the opposite side of the arena just explodes.
It'd be fucked up.
Yeah, like, what do you do? Like, do you hope Roman Reigns was walking down the steps at that very moment? And then do you run for your life? I mean...
Every time there's an explosion, I hope Roman Reigns is just happening to be walking by.
Believe that.
Okay, so this next section, this is the last segment here. We got about 10 questions. Rapid fire. Answer as quickly as you can. Some are yes or no. Some are one word. Some are you're going to have to expand upon.
Okay.
Are ghosts real?
Yes.
Did we go to the moon?
No.
Can jet fuel melt steel?
No.
Who killed JFK?
The mob.
Where's Waldo?
Page 4.
What was eating Gilbert Grape?
Dementia.
Will the MCU ever be rebooted?
Yes.
Person in real life who you hate the most?
Oh, God. Oh. This guy named Mike. I won't say his last name on air.
Weirdest place you've ever jerked off?
Oh. I don't know. There's been a lot of places. I can't remember.
Where do you get all your t-shirts, and where should the listeners get theirs? Final question.
IncarnateStudios.com, and don't forget the hyphen.
All right. Well, that's it for our interview. I think that went pretty well.
That was my favorite part of this hour and 12-minute segment we've had.
So, fans, if you want to be put on the hot seat like that, like we said, all you need is a way to connect with us on Skype and a willingness to be asked a bunch of stupid questions. We're going to record each Wednesday at about noon, 1 o'clock. Is that about right, Jeff?
Yes.
And so if you want to be a part of this, Jeff seems like he had a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun. Make sure to get a hold of us because we want you guys on here and we want to get the most people possible because you guys are awesome. I know Jeff says he hates you and thinks the YouTube scum. I don't think that. But really, you guys are awesome. Make sure to visit IncarnateStudios.com. Buy a fucking t-shirt. A lot of talk, not a lot of walk. That's it for me. Trump 2016. Jeff, you got anything to say?
Yeah, if you want to contact us, remember that our email is worldclassbs@mail.com. The best mail.
.com.
Or comment down below in the comments section. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up, and if you're not already, subscribe to our channel because we got tons of content every week. And coming up in just a few short days, Schlocktoberfest 2016, where Nick and I are going to go crazy and release 31 days of horror-related content on top of our normal world-class bullshitter stuff. So, if you like this and you don't like horror, still subscribe because we're not going to, leave the good shit behind.
No, and make sure to help us come up with a name for this.
Because Untitled News Show is a little long in the tooth.
Yeah, so it's going to be here every week whether you like it or not, so you might as well be a part of it.
We're like herpes. Just accept it and don't procreate.
I wish I had that advice before.